Yes, I want to continue the Detroit Pistons talk because Spencer Raxter asked a very interesting question that I would love to get Lindsey Hunter's opinion on. I think this is something that might turn polarizing amongst Pistons fans as the weeks go on. And just for the record, Jaden Ivey in the last couple of games and the Pistons 2-game winning streak, he can't miss from three, and he's been their best player on both of them. Yes. But that has led the question to be asked.
Well, I don't know. Jalen Durant might have been the best player last night.
That's fair.
27, 22.
Yeah. That's fair.
And he was 9 of 10 from the free throw line, which was, I love to see that.
Can you blame me though for saying someone who shot 7 of 7 from three?
No.
Okay,
I can agree.
Durant and Ivy last night. Love you guys.
That was beautiful.
But Lindsey, are the Pistons better off letting Ivy be the Batman to Cade's Robin?
Let Cade be Robin?
Yes.
Yeah. So
No.
Cade is the 2.
No, stop. Come on, guys. Cade is the best player on the Pistons team. And I think regardless to how you stack it up, when he's back in the lineup, the numbers will show that. And the fact that he's such a multi-talented guy, you know, with assists and rebounds and all the other stuff he does, it'll show that he's the best guy. Now, I think if Jaden Ivey can play at a high level for, you know, and keep rising the rest of his career, then we'll have a dynamic duo or a dynamic trio. But I think Cade still has room to get better.
Yeah.
And of course, we know Jaden Ivey does also, along with Duran. So those guys, if they can grow and keep growing and getting better, then we'll have a dynamic duo. What is their ceiling? That's my question. Like, what is their ceiling? Like, can Cade average over 25 a game? You know, 25, 6 and 6. Let's say something like that. Can he be one of those guys? Can Jaden Ivey be 20 plus a night with 5 or 6 assists? You know, I think we know what Duran is. Duran can be 20 and 10.
Beast.
He can be 20 and 10.
That's all we need from him.
Yeah. I mean, 20 and 10, that's Hall of Fame number.
And 3 blocks.
Right.
Yeah.
So if those guys can raise their level of play to that, then you're looking at something that you can say, okay, we legitimately have 3 guys that we can build around. And don't forget about my boy Sasser.
Yeah.
I
like him.
Speaking of guys who played well last night.
That guy, when given the time,
Spark plug.
he can get it done. I don't care what you say. The kid can guard. He can he can put it on the floor. He can catch and shoot. He can get to the rim. He got it. You just got to let him cook.
I heard Greg say last night during the broadcast he's shooting 53% from 3 on the road.
Jesus.
Is that
you
good?
know how hard that is?
Yeah.
On the road.
Yeah.
53% from 3?
Yeah.
Even at home, that's amazing.
If you do that, you're the best shooter who ever lived.
No, seriously.
Yeah, right. So speaking of the best shooter, I just got to throw this in. Did you guys see Steph last night?
Man. The chef at it again.
Those damn Warriors just won't go away.
No, they're gone, but he's not.
I mean, they're gone in terms of being a championship contender, but I'd kind of like them to bow out of the playoffs this year, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think they're going to make it. I don't think.
You don't think they'll make the playoffs?
No. What are they, 11th right now?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
They're 11th.
Yeah.
They look pretty good their last couple of games, though. But KG, go ahead.
No, so I wanted to ask you this, Lindsey, because a lot of narratives been going around since the trade deadline. Do you think K and Ivy can play together? Because I see that being a big topic of debate of whether their games actually fit together once they're both on the floor. What do you think about that?
See, I think so, but that's more coaching than anything else than playing. That's, figuring out how to get your guys to mesh. What sets are we running for certain guys? How we're going to use them in particular situations. That's not all about, because as a player, I'm out here to do what I do.
Right.
Look, this is how I play. Coach, you better figure out how to get me, in my situations. So especially when you play with, I play with some great players.
Yeah.
They didn't give a damn about how you felt about them playing next to you. All they cared about was, look here, you better get me this ball in this spot or in this situation as much as possible, or I'm going to get it myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how those guys are wired,
Yeah.
Play with Rip Hamilton. Rip didn't give a damn about nothing but, hey, set these screens so I can come off. These curls, and Chauncey, you better deliver that ball right here.
Yeah.
That's all he cared about.
So if it was your choice, who would you have playing off ball or running the offense? Would you have K running the offense, or would you have Ivy running the offense?
I don't think it matters.
Okay.
I don't think that part matters. I just think you have to have an offense with some fluidity in it that whoever initiates it, it really doesn't matter as long as it's playing to their strengths.
Yeah.
You know?
We talked about this yesterday on the heavyweights, and I said I still think Cade's the Batman because, like you said, he is the best player on the team. But maybe it's time to let Ivy be the point guard. Let Ivy be the point guard, and then at the end of games in crunch time situations, you let Cade take the ball up the court, be the guy, take over. But in the beginning of games, obviously it doesn't have to be 100% Ivy, but let Ivy take the ball up the floor a little bit more than what he has been doing.
Well, I think definitely in transition.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get him get him the ball in open court, and he's phenomenal because he's still, watching him in half court, he struggles a little bit decision making when making the reads off pick and rolls. He has to grow in that area, but you get him some space and let him play in open court, he does his thing.
And can Cade get some goddamn calls, please, man? He was getting
facts.
smacked in the face yesterday.
Dude, hey, stop it. They're not going to get calls right now.
Yeah.
You're the worst team in the league.
But
That
he's
shit-
literally getting smacked in the face.
Smitty, I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been on the worst fucking team when you get clobbered and the ref does this to you. Get up.
Yeah.
And you looking like, it's a fucking foul.
And then calls a tech on you.
Yes. Right. Dude, I'm serious. You don't get calls when you're not good. It's not fair.
I'm so glad that you're here, though, to give that voice as somebody who's experienced that. Because, we can all see that Cade Cunningham deserves more calls. But as long as they're the worst team in the league, I mean, what?
Nobody cares, dude.
No
They treat you like a sacrificial lamb everywhere you go. Oh, they're going to lose anyway, so we're not giving them shit.
Yeah, and at that point, unfortunately, that's where the Pistons are at. That's what happens when you are the worst team in the league. I got a question to pose for you, Lindsay, because you expected this team to compete for a play, and I'm not trying to remind you or dunk on you or anything.
I fess up to it because this is my team. I roll with the Pistons, good, bad, or indifferent. I'm a diehard Pistons fan, and we could lose 65 games in a row, and I'm still gonna fight for my team.
Sure.
I'm gonna talk shit about them because I'm mad at them, but I'm still gonna fight for them.
Well, and just to make you feel better, I predicted them to win between 30 and 35, and that doesn't look like it's going to happen. Yeah, I think we all did because we see some of the players that they drafted and we were excited about, and even a guy like Marcus Sasser, who we hadn't seen play up to before this year. We see him when he's on the court, and you see his numbers, and you're like, man, this guy's really good. You see what Asar Thompson can at least give you defensively, and at the beginning of the year, he was putting up numbers with points, rebounds, assists. He just right now is a terrible three-point shooter, but he's not shooting very many of them. I guess the question is, as we're talking about Cade and Ivy, is this the type of core in terms of drafted players that can eventually bring the Pistons to more winning ways? Because I, for one, am shocked that they are as bad as they are. With the collection of young talent that they have, you'd think that they would at worst be normal bad, not worst team in the league bad.
It was never supposed to be this bad.
That was my biggest concern. I'm like, dude, why is I love young basketball players. I love to see young guys come up and do well. But when we're looking at a team that's historically bad, you got to start thinking like, okay, do we break this up? Do we try to make some moves and add some more superior talented guys, proven guys, or do we wait this out? That's a big decision to make. Now, if we had Wembanyama on this team, then I would be like, don't worry about it. Right. We're going to be good. We're going to be fine.
Yeah.
But we don't have that, 7'3" freak.
We should have.
It's the NBA for you.
So that's my thing. I'm skeptical about, like, how good can we be? Like, are we going to mature and be just regular bad?
Well,
not historically bad.
They have had a stretch their last 12 games where they've gone 5-7. Is that a sign of things to come to end the season? Yeah, where maybe they could be pushing 20 wins or something. I know that that's not what we wanted coming into the year, but considering the way that they started, there was times where people thought they might break the record. They might win 7 or 8 games. Now it's looking like that's at least not going to happen, but it's not good right now.
No.
But you still see some promise with that core. It's just I don't think what they did on the trade deadline really excited anybody.
I like it to the point where, like I said, I think the bench rotation got better, and I think what I liked with the Knicks and what they did at the trade deadline, how at the end of the year they're going to be able to run 4 out.
Yeah.
With OG, Randall, Burks, Bogey all on the outside and let Brunson go one-on-one at the end of games and kick it out to shooters. I think the Pistons can do that to a point as well with Fettuccine, with Grimes, with Ivy, and then you have Duren as a lob threat, and you can let Cade go one-on-one with somebody. The floor is going to be spaced a lot better, and the defenders you have now are better than what you had. It's not life-changing, but I do think that the bench rotation got better.
Are you concerned at all, Spenny, and I'll throw this to you too, Lindsay, that about Quentin Grimes? Because a couple of years ago, not this year, but last year, I thought that he was very valuable to that Knicks team. But this season, he just been in the doghouse a little bit, hasn't quite put up the numbers. Is that something that's indicative of who he is as a player, or is it just a bad stretch and he could use a change of scenery?
Well, playing for Tibbs is difficult.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That man will wear you down.
And that's why I laugh at, Spenny and the Knicks fans who think they're going to do something in the playoffs because they're going to be burnt out. Tibbs is going to run that team in the ground. That's what he
every
does.
year.
It's
Every
with the
year it
Bulls
happens.
every single year.
Look, when Derrick Rose got hurt, he shouldn't have been in the game.
Yes.
No, he shouldn't have.
They were up.
They were.
With the game over.
That's right. They were
And
up.
they kept,
Yeah.
because I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah.
And I'm not telling you something that I heard. I know this. Tibbs is so concerned about his defensive efficiency. He's going to leave his starters in as long as possible to make sure that his defensive efficiency doesn't take a dip.
And
He
unfortunately,
does it
Yeah.
all the time. He won't change because to him, that's a badge of honor. I have the best defense in the league. It's a badge of honor. Instead of winning the game and letting the stats take care of themselves,
Right.
that's Tibbs. And if it costs him to run his guys in the ground, that's what it is. And even in his practices, dude, he wants them to go hard in shoot-arounds.
Yeah.
That's when Rip went to Chicago, when Rip Hamilton went to Chicago after he left here, he was like, dude, we had to get taped and shoot around. I was like, what the hell going on? But that's Tibbs. He has that old school
mentality.
approach.
Yeah.
well, and Tibbs hasn't won anything. And
Booyah.
I mean, he's
Booyah.
had a lot of regular season.